Okay, welcome everyone. I'd like to thank you for joining us this evening for our counselling and psychotherapy webinar. I'm Chris, one of the course advisors at Ikon, and tonight we're going to be covering a lot of information about our undergraduate course and postgraduate courses in this field. I would like to welcome our program coordinator for counselling and psychotherapy, Kathryn Harvey. Thanks, Kathryn. We are also very fortunate to have two of our student ambassadors joining us this evening. So I'd like to welcome Diego Luna and also Madison Haynes, who's a current student studying with Ikon, and they will both be chatting with us a little bit later in the webinar. Behind the scenes, we also have one of our course advisors, Tequila, and she's going to be covering your questions this evening in the chat box. So you can find your little chat box to ask questions at the bottom of your screen. So feel free to put in your questions. If we don't cover them this evening, then one of our course advisors will get back to you tomorrow. So feel free to type away anything in regards to the course, applying, course fees, etc. Just keep in mind, we will be covering a lot of stuff during the webinar. So if we don't answer it straight away, it's probably coming up in the webinar at some point. This evening, we will also be recording this session, so you'll receive a copy of it tomorrow. So saying that, let's get started. So Kathryn, I'd love you to introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then tell us about what counselling and psychotherapy is.
Great. Thanks so much, Chris. So my name's Kathryn Harvey, or Kate Harvey, and I'm the program coordinator for the Masters of Counselling and Psychotherapy, as well as for the Bachelor of Counselling and Psychotherapy. So I'm a counsellor and I'm a registered supervisor. So yes, next slide, please. Thank you. So without talking about myself, let's jump into what is counselling and psychotherapy. So counselling and psychotherapy are professional, evidence-based approaches. They support individuals to understand and improve mental health, relationships, emotions, and behaviours. They involve talk-based therapies where a trained practitioner works collaboratively with a client in a safe, confidential, and supportive environment. The focus is on exploring the thoughts and feelings and bodily feelings and life experiences to support the client to gain insight and understanding and increase their self-awareness. Yeah, next slide. Sorry, I didn't even look at that, Chris. Rookie.
Oh, that's it. You know it off by heart, that's why.
So what we aim to do as counsellors or psychotherapists is to increase the client's self-awareness and facilitate and support positive change. So counselling is often shorter term, although in saying that, often, not always, and it can be more focused on specific concerns such as stress or grief or relationship. And whereas psychotherapy is typically longer term and explores deeper emotional patterns and past experiences. And, those underlying psychological processes. So both counsellors and psychotherapists, we work across a wide variety of settings. So we can do private practice, we can work in schools or universities or hospitals or community organisations, as well as specialised mental health services. So you might work with individuals or couples or families or across different age groups and different cultural backgrounds. So that really highlights the flexibility of the profession and its relevance across diverse populations. So And interestingly, a lot more services are being delivered online now too. So the client outcomes that we aim for, we want to support meaningful and positive outcomes. We want to give our clients coping strategies that are transferable in other aspects of their life. We want to help with management of mental health concerns such as anxiety, depression, and trauma. We want to support our clients with emotional regulation and enhanced well-being, and we look at it from that more holistic model too. Overall, counselling provides a really safe, structured, and supportive environment, space for clients to explore their experiences and gain insight and ultimately work towards improved well-being. So that's counselling and psychotherapy. So our courses. So this is where I get quite passionate about it. We've got some great courses on offer here. So I'll start. We've got the Diploma of Counselling and Psychotherapy. This is embedded into our bachelor. So you can enroll in the bachelor and you can exit with a Diploma of Counselling. You can always come back later. Life happens for people. The diploma is a 1-year blended program. The bachelor is a 3-year program that comprises 23 units and placement. So where you get out and you work with clients. So exciting when, there's a placement at the end of first year, the diploma, and then there's a placement in third year, which is longer. And that's the part students really look forward to. So we also have the Masters of Counselling, but we have 3 exit points for the Masters of Counselling. So we've got the Graduate Certificate in Counselling, the Graduate Diploma, and the Masters. Now, each of these courses has 8 units per trimester over a 3-trimester period, and the Masters also has a placement. But just an exciting aspect about the bachelor, and I won't go on too long about it, but an exciting component of the bachelor's degree is the electives in second and third year. And we've got a great diverse arrangement, a diverse elective bank you can choose from of, we've got eco-psychotherapy, we've got dream work, we've got sand and symbol work with clients, and Eastern practice and Western philosophy. So there's some really interesting electives that you can choose for whatever's relevant to you. So you can see across all the courses we've got, there's that flexibility that if you start and for some odd reason, personal reason, you can't, there's exit points along the way. So you will attain some qualifications.
Kathryn, can I just jump in there with the Bachelor of Counselling and Psychotherapy? So that's recognised with the Australian Counselling Association, and same with our Master of Counselling and Psychotherapy as well. So I guess, we do get a lot of questions from students also asking what sort of careers can they go into, or what are some of the opportunities that they get offered, say, in placement to experience what a real life situation might be like?
Yeah, so in placement placement's a great opportunity to put all those skills that you've learned during your studies into practice. The advantage with placement, you get supervision, so there's an experienced supervisor supporting you. Placement's where you begin counselling clients, and it's mainly in the final placement. The first placement, it's a lot. As you can imagine, first year you do client work, but it's added more to in the final placement in the third year. Placement gets you to see how practice is, and you can have a placement in a school, for example. It gets you to experience that hands-on learning, but again, supported by Ikon as well as by the placement organisation.
Yeah.
So the career paths you can get with counselling, and some people even get jobs out of their placement. Over the years, I've heard of many students receiving offers of employment. So, but when, as I said earlier, there's many opportunities for employment in counselling and psychotherapy, and a lot of students start by working for an organisation and then start to go into private practice even. So there's different pathways. Did that answer your
Yeah.
question, Chris? Sorry.
Yes. Yeah, no, that's okay. I guess talking about, Icon and the Icon difference, I mean, it's a very holistic approach, as you mentioned earlier. And would you say a big component of that is things like self-reflection for students, and how does that contribute to their self-development and transformative process?
Yeah, so one of the most important things of being a counsellor is really understanding yourself. So really knowing who you are. Because when you're sitting with clients, you need to be aware of what's happening for you at that time as well. So our courses, our units really do focus on getting to know yourself and how that applies in our professional practice. It's understanding our felt sense and our bodily responses whilst supporting clients to understand theirs. So our courses, our units are very focused on that self as well.
Mm.
So, which
And
is
with the class
crucial.
sizes are quite good. I mean, they're not huge class sizes, which is
No.
great. So students actually get to really engage with other students in the class and with the lecturers as
Mm.
well.
And it's great when you're in those classes because you're starting to build connections with future practitioners that are going to be your peers. So it's really the development of your networking per se. So I still keep in touch with people I studied with many, many years ago. And particularly when I was in one role that was quite isolated, they were a great support network. So you're building those connections.
Yes, and we also have a great support network at Icon with the student experience team. So, students who are just coming into study, who maybe haven't studied for a while, we have a lot of, mature age students coming through who really need that assistance in easing into the course. And that's all taken into consideration with the workshops that we offer, with the support from lecturers and from, a whole team of people who are there to help you with your success of getting through the course. So, it's flexible in starting with from one subject or going to a full-time load up to 3 subjects. I think, as you know, Kathryn, it's initially can be overwhelming because students are coming into this, but yeah, I guess it's, everyone has their own experience in regards to, the study load and placements and, working that into their lifestyle.
Yeah, the beauty about counseling and psychotherapy is it's such a diverse group of people. It's some of us older ones and some of the young ones. It's really diverse. I think there was a study by the British Counselling Association on the diversity of counsellors. And a large percentage were career change and things like that. So it's quite, it's a great career path, very rewarding. So,
Yeah. And can you just touch on the difference between counselling and psychotherapy and psychology? Because that's quite a common question that we get with students sort of not really grasping the difference between those two.
yeah. So as I said earlier, psychotherapy is typically longer term, more bodily felt, deeper emotional patterns. Counselling's often shorter term and emphasizes, practical strategies and coping skills that it can be transferable. Psychology is more based, again, it's a talk therapy, but it operates under the diagnosis and things like that more. We don't diagnose as counsellors. It's something we don't do. We learn in our subjects. We learn about the DSM and ICD, all those things. We learn about the diagnostic tools. So we have an understanding, but we do not diagnose. So that's a crucial thing. Psychiatrists and some GPs and all that, they do the diagnosis.
Mm-hmm.
Psychologists is where you can do a 3-year psychology degree, then you can go on and do your honours year, etc. And if you're lucky enough to be into the select lot, you can get the next level where you'll be working to be a psychologist. In saying that psychologists have Medicare rebates, we don't as yet, but, and I've been saying this for years, there's still talk about it. Counsellors will get Medicare rebates eventually. No guarantee how long, but it's been an ongoing discussion for so many years. But you can register if with some of the healthcare funds, healthcare organisations to have rebates. But you do have to have, I think it is a minimum of a master's degree.
Okay, so, fantastic.
Don't quote me in stone on that one.
No problem. And just in regards to the delivery, I know that we have face-to-face classes typically usually on Melbourne campus.
It's all changed now.
Yes. So blended learning delivery, online options for those who are working during the day. There's evening classes. So we have a lot of flexibility in regards to the class times, daytime online, evening, and obviously there are some intensives for the master's program, but also I guess, you know, for students who do want to study on campus, there are some options depending on the campus. I think Melbourne usually.
Yeah, can we just jump ahead a couple of slides? Is that okay? And I'll do that now.
Sure.
On that.
Yep.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. Okay, so we do, as Chris said, we've got the flexible delivery options. We've got on-campus, Melbourne, Sydney have got on-campus classes. We're just starting with some, it's pretty exciting. We're starting with some classes in Adelaide and Brisbane. So that's something to look forward to. They will be limited on what subjects are offered, obviously, but that's something that is beginning to happen. So the on-campus classes, you know, they generally run 11 weeks, 3-hour classes, roughly 3 hours. I think it's 3 hours 15 in the bachelor and 3 hours in the master's. And we have online classes. So they're where you do the classes as logical, they're on Zoom, but they're still interactive. You still go into breakout rooms, you interact, you're talking with your educator and your peers, and they're still engaging. That online classes just open up for a larger number of students from rural and remote areas and those that have other commitments and can't get to those campuses. The other aspect we have is the blended classes. Now, these are the ones that, as Chris mentioned, we have some intensive schools and there's some in the electives in the bachelors, but they're predominantly the masters at this point. So the masters has 3 units that have electives. And the blended is where you attend some classes via, generally online, and then you come to campus for 3 days. Now, coming to campus for 3 days is really fun, to put it bluntly. Like, you get to interact, you immerse yourself in your learning, and there's small classes and you practice the skills, and, you know, the students get so invigorated by the 3 days. The 3 days are generally a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and so it doesn't impact people with work as much. But overall, another note, international students need to complete more on campus. So that's a note. And overall, the flexible delivery options that we offer at Ikon ensure that students can access high quality education in a way that best supports their learning and their individual circumstances. So we don't want to compromise or on engagement or learning outcomes. So having these options makes it more open for a lot of people.
Mm.
So, yeah.
And could you just give us a little bit of an idea of like assessments? I know is there
Right.
typically like 3 assessments per
Yeah.
subject, or how, just to a broad view would be great.
Yeah, so there's 3 assessments per unit generally. The assessments, there's a variety of assessments over the units. So it's not all just writing a 2,500 word essay. You will have to do them, but we try to make it a bit more interesting, and we're constantly looking at ways to make it more engaging and industry ready, and give you
Mm-hmm.
currency when you go out in the field, that you're confident with doing a presentation. It might be one of my units just researched a mental health condition and presented it to the class in groups. So there's some group activities. There's some, you'll do some triad practices or counselling skills demonstrations where they can be recorded. And then you'll reflect on your skills. So again, it comes back to what we mentioned before, that self-awareness. So you'll look at what you've done, what you did well, and what you can develop, and how you felt during the process. So yeah, there's a variety. There's group work, there's individual, there's podcasts, there's all these things, but without scaring some people off, you
Yes.
are supported with
Yes.
how to do it. So don't
Yeah.
think, oh my goodness, I'm going to do a podcast. I have no idea what a podcast is. You will get supported in it.
Yes, yeah. And I believe, there's a lot of support on the online learning platform as well, which students have access to. As I said, there's workshops available and student support, which is great. I think we had a question pop up earlier in regards to placement. You're not expected to travel to a different state to do your placement. You will work closely with our placement team closer to the time in order to work out, a suitable host organisation. So you don't have to concern yourself with having to travel long distances. I think, Kathryn, we try to accommodate people as best as possible. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah, and look, sometimes, students do have to travel an hour or so to get to a
Mm-hmm.
placement. Placement generally operates, I think it's about 1.5 days a week. So generally students look for their own placement, but they are supported in it.
Mm-hmm.
So the placement team meets with, when you're eligible for placement, they meet with everyone. There's workshops on how to do your resume, how to look for organizations, how a template of a letter to send to the organizations. Everything's there for you. It's really well supported. And students do find placement. Sometimes some require more support than others. But, again, there's options there. And the placement team are constantly exploring different placement organizations. They're meeting with them. They're really networking hard for you as well. So
Excellent.
yeah, there's a lot of support with placement. You're not just go and find an organization and off you go. When you're
Yeah.
enrolled in placement, you attend mandatory supervision, which is a registered qualified supervisor will meet with you via Zoom once a week. There's a group of you, maximum of 6 students, and you are well supported in the placement. So
Excellent. I'm sure many students are happy to hear that. Actually, we're just going to go to our student ambassadors, and then we're going to come back, Kathryn, and cover some more things, if that's okay.
yeah,
We'll
absolutely.
cover things like our scholarships and admission, and we can cover some Q&A. So, yeah, saying that, I'd like to introduce, first of all, Diego Luna. And Diego is actually a very long-term student with Ikon, and we can proudly say that he was the International Student of the Year in 2025. So we're very honoured to have him on this evening. Diego, how are you this evening?
Hey Chris, hey Kathy,
Good to
everyone.
see
How you doing? Thanks for that. That intro
that.
is silver
That's
slide right there.
that's okay.
It's
I
pretty cool.
guess we just want to hear about your experience with Icon, and you've been with us for a long time and worked your way through the program and done extremely well. So just to tell us a little bit about why you chose Icon and your experience.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. It's been a great experience. As you mentioned, I've been with the institution for now 2.5 years, and it all started with my diploma of counseling. And um, the reason why I chose Icon and ALG is because they offer a smooth sort of transition for me. And number one, number two, that curriculum was something that was pretty outstanding for me, something that I was looking for. I was in between studying psychology and counseling psychotherapy, but the curriculum of Icon really stood out. And just the experience that I had, the diploma, it just really made me want to keep going, keep nurturing my knowledge. And the trainers was also one of the main reasons why I wanted to keep going. Just the how they were so prepared and so caring, and that's what I really found in that community. Just trainers that were there for us, and they just know capable to teach, and they have the knowledge, but they also had a heart and they had a spirit where they will be just making sure that we were doing right and very much caring for us as students. And I guess the prac as well, like being able to do a lot of prac work in the subjects. A lot of it is hands-on. Yes, there's a lot of theory and it's relevant and important, but something that really stood out for me of the program is how yeah, we get to just do the work hands-on, and we get to experience that in class, we get to experience that in our assignments, but also through our hours of prac in placement. So yeah, that has been something that definitely has been super helpful and has helped me to already come and do some work around yeah, schools specifically.
Yeah, so you're already doing some work in the field, but how do
Mm.
you manage your study load? Like, because, I guess a lot of students are working and have busy lives. Like, how do you find the study load?
Honestly, it's pretty good. Like I'm 3 days a week in uni, and it's in the evening, so it's mainly I got a couple of classes online and one that it's in person. And it's just that flexibility that Icon offers that matches my calendar in work as well. Like I'm working 4 days, starting three, and then um, yeah, just the the flexibility of Icon is just been super helpful, and the load is not heavy. If you are well organized and you have this sort of, ability to put priorities first, trust me, you won't feel it's heavy. um, at times I think procrastination can be our worst enemy, and we tend to blame, oh, the school is bringing this. But if you actually just prioritize work and uni, and you really lock into your studies, um, trust me, the load is not going to be um, that much. And if you enjoy it, if it's something that you genuinely want to study and you genuinely want to learn and get on, it's gonna get fun, and it's gonna be just super rewarding. So I'll say, if you prioritize your studies and make sure procrastination doesn't get in the way, the load is not that bad at all. At all, I would say.
And one thing that stuck with me, I know you did a talk at our graduation, our last graduation, about how you came from a completely different career. And you told a little bit of a story about, I think you're in accounting and just what
Yeah.
moved you to do this course. Because a lot of people are coming to Icon, they're looking for something deeper, something to enrich their
Mm.
lives. So if you could just share a little bit about that story.
Yeah, 100%. It's right, Chris. My background is accounting, and that was my first degree. And the truth is, I didn't really feel that that was suitable for my personality, for my strengths, for my gifts. And I was wandering around, and I think many people that end up studying counseling, psychotherapy, or anything around the well-being spectrum, it feels like we got a heart for people, and at times it's hard to make those decisions of moving on from careers that might feel that they tick the boxes of what we got told that success is. But truly, the main reason why I moved into this space is because I realized that my gifts, my talents, my skills were all related towards helping and empowering people. And I feel like many of us at times we put that on the side. We tend to just sort of mask that part of us. And if you're that person that is wondering, oh, is there any space where I can thrive, succeed, or even make money? Because some people might think, oh, is there money or and that might be a question that people might have. Oh, if I study this, is there going to be any of that? And it's a totally fair thing to worry or wonder about. But I'll tell you, if you follow your gut feeling and you walk the steps that your heart calling you for, you're gonna find your feet. You're gonna find your feet on the journey, and it's such a rewarding place where you just don't learn about how to empower others, but you learn about a lot about yourself. I think something that Kathryn was saying is so true. What I love about this course is that we get to also understand about us and how we can build this attunement with our potential clients in the future. How do we understand more of our personal inner emotions? And it's just very, very interesting to go through this. So, just to wrap it up and answer that question, I will say that my my gut feeling was always driving me towards a place where I can thrive in purpose and to help others and to work on my strengths. And I feel like right now this feels like, it's me. It's what I'm made for. So yeah,
Mm.
not an accountant, to be honest.
Thank you, Diego.
Mm.
That is so, so lovely. And I really appreciate you taking the time. I know you can't stay long, so I appreciate you coming this evening and sharing that. But is there any last thing you want to add to to this evening to students, or anything you have to share?
Well, I would love to speak as well to international students. Is there anyone there
Yep.
that I'm an international student. I'm from
Mm.
Mexico, and I would say if you are hesitant about maybe your English or your level of English, or if you're gonna understand some stuff, because even the name itself, counseling psychotherapy can sound a little bit scary straight away. I will say like go for it. And even if you're an English speaker and you might feel like, oh, I'm not an academic person, or it's gonna be a lot of reading, or it's gonna be a lot of challenges. I'm not gonna tell you it's all rainbows and colors. It's definitely difficult stuff that you're gonna face, but I'll tell you, um, maybe it's a time to level up, to give it a go. And trust me, no one told me to say this to you, but it comes from my heart to tell you that um, if you want to make a pathway for yourself in an industry that is rewarding, that there's space to help others, this is a good way to start, and it will upskill you. It will get you to know incredible people from all different backgrounds, from all different ages, and it's a very rewarding course. And I'm 6 months away from finishing it, and I just keep, very I keep myself so excited because every trimester there's a new experience that comes ahead. So if that's you, yeah, just give it a go. And if you have any more questions that you want to ask us as student ambassadors, I'm sure the team will provide you with our contact, and we're happy to connect with you, talk to you, and tell you a little bit more about what's the experience to come to Icon.
Thank you, Diego. I really appreciate it.
No worries. Thank you, guys.
Nice seeing you. Thank you. Okay. Madison, we might invite you in now. So you're also been with Icon for a while. So yeah, it would be great to hear about your experience, please.
Yeah, I guess I've been with Icon now since the start of last year, so a little bit over a year. And I came with a little bit of education behind me, so I was able to get a little bit of RPL, which has been a really positive experience for me. When I was researching unis and kind of going through what I might want to do next, Icon really stood out to me, and I found that the course advisor, I think I had Doug at the time, he kind of gave me a lot of time. I actually went back and forth a lot for probably 6 months. I was like, is this the right time to start another course? You know, is this what I want to do? And, you know, he really kind of explained to me a lot about what psychotherapy is and what counseling is, you know, and kind of it really aligned with where I wanted to go. And yeah, like he explained as well that there would be a lot of evening classes which aligned with my lifestyle because I've got 2 kids and another one on the way, and a border collie and my partner, so work as well. So it gets pretty busy. But yeah, and I thought it was actually nice to know I'll actually be able to attend the classes because a lot of other universities, what they offer is these kind of lectures that are recorded and it's at your own, you know, discrepancy to watch them, and kind of it's very alone, whereas this feels really connected with other people and the students and the teachers. So that's been kind of my favorite part about the experience with Ikon is, you know, the smaller classes, the ability to have interaction and the dialogue in classes. And yeah, I guess that's really important for me to actually learn as well, because I think we can all watch a recorded lecture and take that in, I guess. But, you know, when we actually have the ability to ask questions and, you know, interact with classes and peers as an online student, it really does kind of change the way that you learn.
Yeah, and Madison, I mean, you sound like you've already got your hands pretty full. I mean, are you studying part-time? Are you doing 1 or 2 subjects, or how is your week? How does your week look?
Yeah, so I'm actually doing 3 classes. I love to
Whoa.
just throw myself in the deep end. I'm doing I'm doing a full-time load as well as work. I don't work full-time, I only work 4 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
So I do have a bit of flexibility and that extra day off where my kids are at school. So I do kind of really prioritize that. I guess something that is really necessary for me is making sure that I'm eating like a nutritiously balanced diet, that I'm drinking enough water, I'm incorporating physical activity into my life. Because when I start to not look after myself, like my motivation really dips. So when I'm managing everything at once, it kind of just all works. And yeah, I guess some other things that really motivate me is I have a little printout of all of my subjects kind of stuck on my wall, and at the end of each term, I check them off. And it's a really visual way to say, you know, I'm really progressing towards something. I really am working towards the end and having that end in sight. I think also having a level of organization when you do have a lot of competing priorities is quite important. Something that I've just always done from the start of my studies is just going through my subjects and my assignments in the first week when everything comes out, just popping in a quick Word document, you know, what assignments I have, when they're due, and just a little bit of, you know, what they entail, printing it out and popping that up on the wall too, as that real visual kind of this is what I have and when it's due, has been something that's really, really helpful to kind of manage all of the things that go on.
Life's everyday life things that can
Yeah.
happen. No, that's great. Yeah, because we do have a lot of you know, students that come on board and life gets in the way and it's easy to put things off. It's always on next trimester or the trimester after, whereas, you know, as I say to some students, even if you just start with one student, you can just chip away, one subject, you can just chip away at it, but at least, you know, you've got to start. Do you know what I mean? It's getting
Yeah.
started. So
And I think there was one term where I actually just cut back and did one subject, like it's quite flexible within that as well.
mhm.
So, you know, when I'm feeling it and it's all working and things are smooth, I'll try and do a full-time load, but there is always the option to just pull back and maybe do one subject. And that is, I guess, the flexibility of the course as well. You're kind of able to, you know, do what you like and take on the load that you feel like you can manage at the time. So, you know, if you've got a wedding and a 30th and something else on that term, maybe you only do 1 or 2 subjects. Or like Diego, if you're doing marathons, he's amazing. I've seen some of his marathon work. He's absolutely amazing. So yeah, it's really flexible in that sense, which is yeah, been great for me in my circumstances.
Excellent. And is there anything you want to say to anyone considering doing the course, the final?
Yeah, I think it's been a really moving experience actually. I think I've learned a lot about myself. And there's been a few subjects that have really opened my eyes as well. I think models of contemporary practice is a first year subject, but it really kind of opened up a lot of subjects for me and what modalities are available in counselling and psychotherapy, which is something I probably wasn't really aware of before. So I kind of had that epiphany moment, and it really gave me a chance to think a little bit more reflexively around what I want to do and what practitioner I want to be, and you know, where I want to go with this. And as well as that, the experience of placement for me was a really, really positive one. I think my supervisor was Dia, and she was just a wealth of knowledge and so kind and compassionate. And that was a really validating experience for me personally to have done that first year and then kind of have all of these experiences in placement to solidify, like, yes, I'm learning the right thing. Yes, I've got it. And yeah, also have that practical hands-on. I found it really, really helpful. And even my placement actually said I ended up doing my placement with Headspace. So they have a lot of students come through. They were really impressed with Icon's curriculum in terms of the actual supervision. And they said this is really set out so well for the student and for the organisation as well. They said it was one of the best that they'd seen in terms of the supervision that's actually provided by the uni. So that was a bit of a reflection for me. And I thought, oh, like, I feel like I'm in the right place. That's great.
Well, thank you. Thanks for sharing that, Madison. So again, I just want to say thank you, Diego and Madison, for coming along tonight. So, and sharing your experiences. I really appreciate it. I'm just going to jump into our scholarship offers, and then we'll go to our Q&A with Kathryn just to finish up. So we do have some great scholarship offers on for domestic students at the moment. We have our Career Builder Scholarship on, which is open for trimester 2, which is starting in May. And this will cover our postgraduate courses, so graduate certificate in counselling, graduate diploma in counselling and psychotherapy, and the masters. So there's the 10% scholarship for domestic students. Alumni scholarship for any of those students who have completed a course with Ikon previously and they're considering coming back. We would love to have you back. There is a 20% alumni scholarship on offer as well. So it's certainly worth taking a closer look at those. They can be found on our website, or Tequila can forward you the link. There are also some scholarship available for our international students. Again, they can be found on our website, and Tequila can forward you the link. So it's well worth having a look at those. Not all of them are going to be on offer all year, but for the masters or postgraduate courses, they are. One thing that Madison brought up was about RPL, just to let you know, with the application process, there is an opportunity for you to apply for credit. So on your application form, if you feel you've done some previous study which aligns with some of the course material, then you can apply for that upon application. So that's certainly an option that's open to you. Our applications for trimester 2 actually close on the 8th of May. So we only have a few weeks left. However, we don't recommend you leave it to the last minute. Like, you know, I sometimes do things at the last minute. I don't recommend doing that, just because we do have an influx of people coming through and it can delay your process slightly. So we want to get you into your classes. We want to get your login details. We want everything organised before that date, preferably, to save any delays so that you can get started for your course on time. The actual course itself, we have orientation week starting the week of the 18th of May, and then your classes will start the week of the 25th of May. So if you're looking to apply, please reach out to one of your course advisors. I'm sure you would have had a contact, or just reach out to us, email us, you can call us, and we'll be able to assist you in going through that application process, which is very straightforward, fairly easy, could take less than 10 minutes to do. So I'd highly recommend moving on that. Okay, so we're coming to the Q&A time now. I'll just bring up some questions. Okay, so we have some questions coming through about ACA registration, Kathryn. Just wondering if you could sort of touch on that for the bachelor degree. Oh, it's just on mute.
That is such a phrase I would have loved to have trademarked years ago. Okay, so yes, our courses are accredited with the ACA. And so once you graduate, you are eligible for registration as an ACA registered counsellor. But you can also, when you enroll in the course, you can register as a student counsellor with the ACA by putting in your student number, etc. Doesn't cost you anything, which is even better when you're a student. And it does give you a couple of little, I think it gives you a discount or something on your first year's membership. Again, don't quote me on that, but you'd have to browse their website. But you can register with the ACA as a student. You get their resources. There's professional developments you can attend. Some you pay for, some are free, some have student discounts. So that's, so the course is ACA accredited. Both courses, all our courses are ACA accredited.
The bachelor and the master's. And for those students who are just considering starting out with the diploma, which is a year in counselling and
first year.
Yeah, first year. That's not recognised with the ACA, but what sort of job opportunities?
So with the we've got they're bringing in a new standards for counselling, which is it's been working on in the background for a while. When you finish with a diploma, it is only entry level. Okay, people do get jobs with a diploma. It's not uncommon. You might work as a peer support worker. You might work. You might work in a drug and alcohol as an assistant group facilitator. There's many different opportunities. Some students exit with a diploma and then come back and finish their degree. So if you decide that, you go, okay, I'm just going to start with the diploma and see how I go. You've got within 10 years. It's a 10-year limit on your quals to be credited for the next. So you've got plenty of time. And speaking from personal experience, when I returned to study after a long break, I won't say how many years, but I actually started with a diploma and went, even though I already had a bachelor degree, I went, I'm just going to start with the diploma and see how I go. And I did that and went, yeah, I can do this. So I did the bachelor. Yeah, this is good. So I did a grad dip, master's, and finishing a PhD. There's different pathways that we all go along. So, there's options.
Excellent. No problem. Yeah, because that is one of our big questions. And also there's the PACFA question as well, which some students do ask, if you just want to touch on that a little bit.
PACFA's in a different situation. So PACFA, once you complete, you follow the requirements on the PACFA website for applying. So if you have a look at their website, you'll see what their requirements are, and the course is not PACFA registered, but that doesn't mean you cannot apply for PACFA down the track.
Yes, I know there is an option for some students who are members of the ACA to actually transfer after post-qualification. So it's not ruled out. There are options,
absolutely,
as Kathryn said, to apply, and depending, if you're also doing face-to-face hours, etc. So
and that's the key thing, is to have those face-to-face hours.
Yes. Absolutely. Okay, I'm just having a look. In regards to things like block credit, for students that are asking, there is on our website a whole page dedicated to credit. So if you're looking at coming from a diploma of counselling from, say, a vet provider, then you may be able to apply for a block credit. So that's an option there. I think, what else?
There's one on intensive schools, Chris.
Intensives, a question there. Oh, which intensives are face-to-face? So I think the intensives is mainly the masters, isn't it? The 3-day ones.
Next stage, yes, it's masters.
Yeah.
So the masters has one of its Foundations of Therapeutic Practice has an intensive. So when we run intensive schools, the classes generally run they go for about 2.5 hours. They run weeks 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11 off the top of my head. And then we have the intensive school round about week 10. So you've got a lot of learning leading up to the intensive, and then you put it all in place. We have Foundations of Therapeutic Practice, which is about the second unit in the masters. We also have process experiential psychotherapy, which is that has an intensive with the same structure that I mentioned before. And we also have conversational models of psychotherapy, which is towards the end of your degree. Now, all of these are practice-based, and I think Diego touched on, or was it Madison? Sorry, one of you spoke about, the hands-on learning, and these units are 3 days of intensive hands-on learning. So, yeah.
Excellent. And I can see one of the questions here about, can the masters and diploma work for international students? I think the masters can. We do have classes on Sydney and Melbourne campus. There's some face-to-face classes.
And we're starting in Brisbane.
Brisbane and Adelaide, yes. So yes, that's certainly an option. I would reach out to your course advisor to go over the details of that.
There are requirements for international students for on-campus attendance.
Yes, yeah,
not
absolutely.
the whole course, just some.
Just some of it. And this one, what is the difference in job prospects between psychology and psychotherapy?
So that's it's quite a broad question. So I'll give it my best. To be a psychologist, you have to be registered with APRA. And so really when we look at the mental health, you start with a psychiatrist with a medical degree, you have a psychologist, which has 5 years, I think, don't quote me on that again. They are registered with APRA to practice and have Medicare rebates. You have a psychotherapist. Interestingly, job opportunities are what areas you want to work in. So a lot of psychotherapists go into private practice or into community-based organizations, but so do psychologists. So
it's very varied, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. They're different. They're both working with mental health, but they're different courses.
Excellent. No, you've explained it really well. Thank you. Is there anything else you want to add, Kathryn, before we sort of finish up, or?
No, I think one thing, I've been a counsellor for a long time now, and it was probably the best career choice I made. I love working with people. I'm currently working primarily as a supervisor for counsellors, but I love working with clients and really seeing them improve their well-being and their outcomes, and facilitating positive change. So
yeah, no, you certainly grow through this course. The reason you start it is certainly not the reason you end up finishing. Do you know what I mean? Where you start, the reasons you think you're starting. As people move through, they always say to me, I just never even imagined where I'd be at the moment. So
And we have a lot of people come in that have got lived experience, and that's okay. That's great. Like, you don't have to have lived experience, but if you do, that's fine. It's, yeah, you all bring a uniqueness to the practice.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, I just want to thank everyone for tonight. First of all, Kathryn, thank you, Diego, Madison, Tequila behind the scenes, and Andrew as well from our marketing team. We've had a big turnout tonight. We've had a lot of students log in, and we're very happy that you could all attend. We're very happy that you took appreciative that you took the time out of your evening to come and listen to some details about the course. As I said, if you have any questions, please reach out to your course advisor. Cutoff is the 8th of May. However, as I said, don't leave it to the last minute if you can, and take advantage of the scholarships while they're on offer. It's a great opportunity. May's a great intake for starting something new. So we would love to have you on board. This will be recorded, as I said, so you'll all receive a copy tomorrow. But we look forward to hearing from you, and thank you again. Thank you to everyone.
Thanks, everyone.